Welcome everyone to Magic with Class. I am Jeremy Class. Before I start my video, I just want to thank all of you for all of the comments, for all of the discourse, and for your encouragement and advice. It means a lot to me. I hope you have been enjoying the videos I have been posting on Commander Legends, the Commander Legends box opening videos, both the draft booster and the collector booster. Unfortunately, this is the end. All good things must come to an end. I have just one draft booster remaining, and after this, unfortunately, I will be moving on to other things. I will be doing videos on other topics. I may talk in general about Commander Legends, especially the market and what's going on there with Commander Legends. I will also be posting a video soon on the Secret Lair Super Drop that is upcoming. And I also have a video in the works where I will be discussing Chandra in some length and something I noticed about Chandra and someone else. So hopefully you will stay tuned. Hopefully you have enjoyed the content I have put out so far. And I want to thank you. My videos have been getting many more views than when I first started, and that's thanks to all of you guys for staying tuned, viewing, commenting, liking, and subscribing. So, this is our last box of Commander Legends. If you saw my other videos, I don't want to spoil too much, but I was able to open the trifecta. I was able to open up a Mana Drain, a Vampiric Tutor, and the infamous Jeweled Lotus. Now, even though I opened all three of those cards in separate boxes, the prices of those three cards has gone down significantly. Weeks ago, the price of a regular Jeweled Lotus was over $150, so if you managed to open one out of a draft booster, it more than paid for the draft booster. Now these draft boosters are going for about $130 to $150, and yet Jeweled Lotus is only about a $30 to $40, maybe $50 card. I do think that the price of Vampiric Tutor, Mana Drain, and Jeweled Lotus will rebound once everyone's attention and focus is on another product, maybe Commander Collection Green, maybe the Super Drop Secret Lair. I know a lot of people already are starting to pivot in that direction and talk a lot about what's going on with the Bob Ross Secret Lair and the Secret Lair, the rock, the shred hard Secret Lair with the Thraxamunder, the very beautiful and interesting and unique art that all of the Secret Lairs in the Super Drop have. I've also been hearing some good things about the Rock Secret Lair, which is just a bunch of mana rocks, including a very beautiful art featuring Arcane Signet. Remember when Arcane Signet was such a difficult card to obtain that people were paying $20 or $30 for it, and now it's just not even a few dollars, I think less than $2, partially because it kept getting reprinted and will continue to get reprinted into oblivion. Almost every Commander deck should run an Arcane Signet, just as almost every Commander deck should run a Soul Ring. It's pretty much a given. So until the day where they decide that they're finally going to ban Soul Ring and Arcane Signet, a lot of Commander decks will only have 97 or 98 actual cards in them, and then they will have the Arcane Signet and they will have the Soul Ring to round out the deck. Do I think those cards should be banned? Maybe. For deck diversity's sake, every deck would run them, so is Commander really a 99 card format with a Commander if two of the cards in every deck have essentially already been decided, that's up to you to decide. You can always not run those cards, although you would probably be at a disadvantage. Alright, going through my commons with Saris here, always nice to see. And I will put the commons to the side, barely visible, because I'm sure people barely care about the commons. Here are the uncommons: Humble Defector. Let's get a little closer. There you go. Reclamation. Sage. Used to see more play. Seeing less and less play as the power level of all formats go up. Mask of Memory. And our first rare is Body of Knowledge. Not the best. We have our legendary slot. We have Tormod, the Desecrator of Tormod Crypt's fame. And we have Galanra, Caller of the Wirewood. And lastly, we have Lys Alana, Bowmaster. Not lastly, because here is a Prismatic Piper to end that first pack. Overall, that was a very weak first pack, but we still have 23 more packs to go, so hopefully that was just a blip in an otherwise amazing box. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, I actually haven't even seen this common. Dune Operative. As long as you control an artifact, Dune Operative gets +1/+0 and has Death Touch. Is a 2/2 for 2 in common in black. That's not terrible. Alright, let's see. Common. Yep. Armillary Spear. Alright. Here we go. So I'll put the commons right there. Nothing to see there. And now we have our Scholar of Ages as an uncommon. Not horrible, but I don't think I would play this much unless it was in a even in a deck really focused around sorceries and instants. I'd rather have a cheaper card that returns one sorcery or instant than an expensive creature that can return multiple. Since it's not a sorcery or instant itself, then kind of doesn't fit the theme. Return to Dust. We have our Kumbaya Witches. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. There she is. And our next rare is, there you go. And our next rare is Elvish Dreadlord. Terrible. One of my least favorite new cards in the entire set. And one day I'll get beaten by it in a game of Commander, and then I'll probably change my opinion. And the uncommon legendaries are my Shadowcat Familiar and Belby, Corrupted Observer. Now Belby started off as an elf princess. She was changed into a zombie, and then her personality completely shifted. I believe Belby was eventually killed by her father, who was disgusted and hated what she had become, which is a zombie elf. She did retain her intelligence, however, but her personality was not what it once was. Our foil is Prying Eyes, originally from Kaladesh block, because you have to be careful of those Thopters looking through your windows. Thopters are like drones, if you think about it. They're the drones. No, they're not drones. This is not Throne of Eldraine. They're the drones of Kaladesh. Okay. Alright, commons, Hunted Cloak, Marble Diamond. I have so many of the diamonds now. I don't think I'll ever need one of those ever again. Command Tower. Got a number of those. Spectral Searchlight is our last common. And now our uncommons are Vow of Torment, Frenzied Saddle Brute, Monstrous Onslaught. Ooh, I feel like it's slippery. And we have as our rare a Sakashima's Protege, Cascade, kind of a clone effect as well. And we have Awaharu, Solemn Ritualist, and we have Arumi of the Dead Tide with a foil Seer's Lantern hanging out in the back. So that's kind of like strike 3. We opened 3 packs and we struck out 3 times. Another Monarch token. So far nothing good. No mythics. We did get, I think, 1 double rare pack, but wasn't particularly full of value or even playable cards in Commander or other formats. We will see if our luck starts to turn around. We got a Preordain for Raven Elf in the common slot, Commander Spear. Alright, and here are our uncommons. Put the commons right here. Our uncommons are Interpret the Signs, Make a Stand, Gilt Leaf Winnower, and we have as our rare one of these Battle Bond lands, Spectator Seating. I opened one in the past, probably the worst out of that cycle of lands, simply because of the color combination. Red-white is considered the weakest color combination in Commander, and probably in general. I think Simic is probably considered the best. Blue-red used to be considered one of the worst, and now slowly it's becoming one of the better color combinations. Anything with green and black or blue is usually decent. You know what? I just realized that I did these piles a little wrong. I put some of the uncommon legendaries in the wrong slot, so let me just fix that a little. Did I do that with anything else? Yep, I did that with the familiar. That's not legendary. Okay, fix the piles. That's a little better, right? And the 2 uncommon legendaries are Rebecca, Architect of Ascension. Not terrible. And ooh, this was quite the pack, as we pulled our first mythic, and it's a decent one. It's Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. Love this character. Not sure if Sakashima is male or female. The character has 1,000 faces, so probably could be either. If Sakashima identifies with a gender, not sure. And our foil is actually quite beautiful. It's a command tower foil. Haven't seen this in foil, at least in a regular draft booster. So actually that's a nice common foil to get. Command tower. Always looking for command towers. And we have a 3rd straight Monarch token. That's kind of unusual. Monarch tokens had a misprint the first time they were printed. So I'm glad with this printing they kind of fixed that issue. So that was actually a good pack. I think we got our value when it comes to that pack. We got both a Mythic and Sakashima. And Sakashima is not even a bulk Mythic. It's a Mythic that's about between $10 and $15 at the moment. Could go up, could go down. Probably will go down before it goes up. And then we got one of those Battle Bond lands. Alright, let's keep going. So we have Sky Diamond, Fleshbrag, Raising Alarm, Finderhorn Elves, Prophetic Prism. Alright, that's where the commons stop. Put that right there. Just out of view, because they just don't matter, right? No one came here to see what commons I've obtained. Everyone came to see the rares, mythic, foil etched cards, and other cards of value, not even the uncommons. Lightning Recruit, however, is our first. Patron of Valiant and Hunter's Insight. And our rare is Keeper of the Accord, so actually one of the better rares. And one of the best rares in this set in white. Actually glad to pull a couple of those. Nadir, Agent of the Dust Knell, is our uncommon legendary. And the second is Thales, Reverent Medium, with a Sisei's Ring foil. I don't think I would play Sisei's Ring in a commander deck anymore. Thrawn Dynamo is just, in my opinion, superior. As is Soul Ring. Sisei's Ring, actually, if you think about it, has the exact same effect as Soul Ring for 4 times the amount of mana, and yet it still saw some play when the commander format was still relatively new, and we didn't have mana rocks as powerful as the ones we do now. Rupture Spire, Natural Reclamation. What is he? Yeah, okay. Stops right there. Commons. Oof, but once again, I messed up, right? These are legendary uncommons or commanders, so they should go in that pile. Sorry, so uncommons, Skilled Animator, Dreamstone Hadron, Feast of Succession, and the rare is, okay, this is decent, a Command Beacon. We had not opened too many of the Command Beacon card in any product, not many Command Beacons. I actually forgot Command Beacon was even in the set, and this pack has a double rare, has Nostro, Voice of the Crags, and triple rare, because there is also behind Nostro, Alathiel, the Bounteous Dawn. I hope one day we get a set where they really focus on unicorns, and I really hope they focus on a lot of the classic creature types that I think they don't do enough justice to. Dragons they overdo, so I don't want to see really any more dragons. What I would love to see are some phoenixes, maybe. Phoenixi? What is the plural of phoenix? I think it's phoenixes. Would like to see some phoenix tribals, some more phoenix cards, and maybe some more horses as well. Well, maybe some Pegasus cards as well. Maybe a card that even works with horses, Pegasus, and unicorns, since they're all like equestrians. Alright, so we have an Iona's Judgment as our foil, not great. And we have a Prismatic Piper. I'll put that in the common slot, and a Golem 3/3 token. So far we opened Sakashima as a mythic, probably the best pull. We also opened one of those Battle Bomb lands, and the Command Beacon is a decent land to open as well. Everything else so far we've opened is pretty much bulk for the time being. But the prices of cards will always fluctuate. As soon as Kaldheim releases, who knows, I'm sure these cards will start to go up in value as people stop caring about this set and start caring about something else. And speaking of Kaldheim, I just saw the box, like what the products are going to look like. So Kaldheim, interesting, because I haven't really heard anyone do a video on this. Kaldheim, interestingly, has a guaranteed foil in every pack in one of the boosters. I believe it's the draft booster. It could be the set booster, but I think it's the draft one, where now they're guaranteeing a foil in every pack. Not only that, they're saying that you can get up to 4 rares in each pack, and that is advertised right on the packaging pretty boldly, so that's interesting. It has now been officially confirmed, at least I believe, that Kaya is in this North mythology set. And the packaging looks a little different from what we've been seeing as the norm in packaging lately. And I'm glad they're doing something different. Instead of it focusing on a character or a planeswalker, the box looks like it's going to focus on a weapon and equipment. It looks like it's focused on a hammer. That makes sense because when you think of Norse mythology, you probably think of Thor, and he's probably the most famous wielder of a hammer. Mjolnir is how you pronounce it, I believe. Alright, let's get back to this. Horizon Scholar is our uncommon in that pack. Battle of Duty, Meteor Golem, and the rare is not bad. We get another one of these Battle Bond lands, a Vault of Champions, the Black-White land, which is probably average, probably better than the White-Red land. Not as good as the lands that contain green or blue, though, maybe. And we have Halana, Kesage Ranger, as an uncommon legendary. And this is a double rare pack, because we got Obeka, Brute Chronologist. Very interesting card. I like Obeka. A lot of people are brewing around Obeka, trying to turn cards with disadvantages into kind of advantageous situations if you use her ability. Victimize as the foil. Kind of weird looking foil. Some of the regular foils in this set look a bit faded. I think that's just a normal variation, however, I don't think it's a misprint or anything of the sort. So we continue. Obviously, we are still looking for the big three, and for Scroll Rack as well, because I have not opened a Scroll Rack yet in anything that I've opened. Not in the collectors, not in the boosters, so we are missing that Scroll Rack. One of the few mythics that I have not had the pleasure of opening in this set. I'm sure there are some other mythics that I missed, but we're gonna keep right on moving. Alright, our Miller Steer closes out the commons, and we have, as our uncommons, we have Thirst for Knowledge, we have Demonic Lore, we have Brass Herald, and our rare is very good rare. We got a Opposition Agent, probably the most valuable rare in the entire set, a card that had quite a bit of controversy going into Commander Legends. I think it was the first card that people really questioned as kind of being in the spirit of the Commander format. A lot of people said that Opposition Agent should have been a white aligned card, that it should have been white, that this ability is taking something that should have been in white's domain and giving it to black. I don't agree. I believe this effect is perfectly within black's slice of the color pie. Black is allowed to cast things that it steals from the opponent, and black is also the king of search. So usually if you are the best at something, you can also kind of prevent your opponent from doing what you're best at. So I think Opposition Agent is fine. It has flash, but black is kind of secondary in flash. Now it's a rogue, and it's a human. Both very good tribal types for it to have as well. Is this overpowered? At 2 mana, it definitely would have been. But at 3 mana, I think in Commander, it's at a good spot. You can always shock it, and then the ability no longer applies. It kind of sucks, though, that this does stop fetch lands from triggering. Well, it doesn't stop them, but who's going to use a fetch land when Opposition Agent is on the battlefield? Also stops cards like Rampant Growth. So for better or for worse, it has a myriad of possible uses in Commander and also in Legacy and even in Vintage. I could see easily this card finding a home in Legacy or Vintage formats. And you know what? Since I'm talking about it so much, and I'm saying how it's such a highly valued card, let me just go ahead and put it in a sleeve right there. The first card I put in a sleeve in this video. And I probably should have sleeved up that Sakashima as well, but at the end. So I didn't even finish the pack. I've been talking about how amazing Opposition Agent is. Probably our best pull, probably even a better pull than the Sakashima that we pulled. Should it be that way, where a rare outdoes a mythic? Where a rare outdoes a majority of the mythics? Well, it happens from time to time. I don't think Opposition Agent's price will fall significantly. I think over time, if it doesn't see a reprint, it will only go up. Luckily, this doesn't really reference Commander or anything, so it can be reprinted in like Modern Horizons maybe, or it could be reprinted in, you know, maybe a standard legal set. I don't think this is quite as good in standard, but maybe it is. Maybe it's just too powerful, which is why they had to put it in Commander Legends. I'm not sure. So let's keep going. We have Numa, Draga, Chieftain, and we have Miera, Thorn of the Glade. Kind of interesting that these cards were right in back of each other, because they actually make quite the good pairing in terms of partners. So if I was drafting and I saw these two at the back of my pack, well, I would still probably draft Opposition Agent just a rare draft and just for the value. But if I was playing like in a tournament to win, I think I would probably draft these two. I would snap them up really quickly and try to go into an elves type strategy. There are a lot of elves in both black and green in Commander Legends, so I think they make a good draft archetype. Although you don't really, some of the elves are just good even without the elf tribal support. Our foil is a uncommon Horizon Scholar, and we have a zombie token. Let us keep going. You know, you never really open two Opposition Agents in the same pack, in the same box. Even though it is just a rare. Then again, I'm not getting a lot of duplicates in terms of rares within the same box. Commons for sure, but I haven't been getting too many of the same rare over and over within one box. Alright, okay. Staunch Throne Guard is the last common in this new pack that I just cracked. Let's do the uncommons. They are Daring Saboteur, Noxious Dragon, Shimmermer, and our rare is Court of Cunning. Not the worst, not the best. Interesting mill card. If this was modern legal, I think mill would become out of control. Right now, mill is a very popular deck in standard, a lot of variants. There's a mono blue mill, there's crab mill, there's Demir Rogues mill, and there's just so many variations on it. I thought it would be good to see a mill deck in standard and a competitive mill deck, but when you actually play against them, it's actually quite annoying. Quite annoying. If those crabs didn't have 3 toughness, if they were just like 1/1s or something, I think it would be a lot easier. But they make excellent blockers in the early game. So our uncommon legendaries are Dargo, the ship wrecker. And we have Siani, Eye of the Storm. So they could partner together. They are both pirates after all. But I think there are better partners for both of them. This one kind of wants to be partnered with another commander that focuses on flying. And Dargo might want to be paired with something like Jessica. And we have a Ripscale Predator foil. Not a good foil to open. So I'm just going to keep on cracking packs. I am a bit sad that this is the final day that I will be opening Commander Legends. And that I will be posting a video where I am opening Commander Legends, but, you know, I had to end sometime. The hype is dying down for sure. So let's go through all the commons. Nothing to really comment on there. We have open the armory as an uncommon. Oops, sorry about that. We have a golem artisan. Golems were a supported type. And we have an arcane signet, first arcane signet of the box. Always happy to see that in my uncommon slot. And we have a Bladegriff prototype, which is actually, I don't remember really opening any, or at least many, of this artifact creature, Griffin. Griffin is another type I would like to see supported more. It's a fantasy staple, and yet I really don't see many Griffins. You would think with the success of like Harry Potter and Gryffindor that there would be more Griffins in fantasy games, but kind of odd that this is an artifact. Usually you think of Griffins as living creatures, but you know, I guess anything can be made of metal and made to look like something. But that's our rare, mediocre at best. 2 toughness for a 5-mana card. That's overdoing it. And here we have our first legendary elephant, at least in black border. We have Hamza, and this is a double rare pack because we have Jared Carthelian, True Heir, and this is actually a triple rare pack because we have a Magus of the Order in foil, not a terrible foil. Finally completes the Magus cycle that people were like dying to see completed. It's been many years. I actually think we saw 2 Magus cards in white before we ever saw a green one. Kind of unusual. They gave this one a pretty good effect. Made it a bit expensive though. These Magus cards are slow because you have to wait to tap them. They could have given this one haste or something, but you know, I guess they would have had to reduce the power or increase the mana cost. Even though you already have to pay an additional green, tap it, sacrifice it, and sacrifice another green creature. So there are a lot of restrictions on that card, as is. Alright, Moss Diamond, Opal Palace. Those are all the commons fit to print. Alright, and let's see what our uncommons are. Oh, sorry. We have a first response. We have a null caller. Sifter Worm, and our rare is Armored Sky Hunter. Fair rare. And our uncommon legendaries are Abomination of Lorna. And this is a double rare pack as well, because we also got Amaranth Lustrous, who I think may go up in value. It's an interesting commander in band colors. And there's a lot of ways that you can build a deck. You can use a lot of artifacts. You can use a lot of enchantments. You can kind of have a landfall theme with it. A lot of ways you can go. Our foil is Silverback Shaman and Ape Shaman. Interesting creature type, but doesn't really do much. Maybe in limited. A 5/4 for 5 in limited is probably pretty good. It has trample too, so it can get through for some damage. And it does have an ability. Okay, if it dies, you draw a card, so even if your opponent gets rid of it right away, it usually is going to break even in terms of card advantage. So that always helps. Be a lot better if it drew a card when it entered the battlefield though, right? Then again, what wouldn't be better if it had the ability to draw when it enters the battlefield? Omnith, 4-color Omnith, certainly was better because of it. Maybe it would not have been born if it didn't have the draw attached to it. Fire Diamond, oh man. Oops, sorry. Fire Diamond in the common slot. Benevolent Blessing. Alright. That's where our commons do end. And we have, let's see, what uncommons? Explosion of Riches. Someone explain Explosion of Riches to me. I think I'm still confused on what that card actually does. What is this? Merchant Raiders. Yeah, my Sandstone Oracle, and our rare is Necrotic Hex. Kind of expensive in terms of mana, not in terms of price. Necrotic Hex is probably like a 10-cent card. And our legendary uncommons are Praba of the Steel Legion and Armix, Filigree, Thrasher. I see a lot of people building decks around this legendary artifact creature. I don't really see it as being particularly good, but I don't know. Some people are drawn to it. Is it its looks? I know it's a Phyrexian inspired creature. It lives in New Phyrexia, and I believe Sheoldred made it, and it didn't exactly go rogue, but it's completing its missions in a way that was relatively unexpected, although it's still completing its missions just in a very violent way. And as our foil, we have a Foundry Inspector with the Monarch token. Kraken packs, Kraken packs, Kraken packs. Yeah, do you know why they call it Kraken packs? Why not like Karen packs? Alright, that one was a little harder to open. Let's see what we got here. Common, common, common. Preordained common. Barhaven Elf. Fertilid. Maelstrom. Colossus. Commander's Spear. Alright, here are our uncommons. We have our Furnace Celebration. Warden of Evilsile. Nadier's Night Blade. And our rare is Nevernal's Disc. Nope, not a good rare. We have a Breaches as an uncommon legendary. And we have our Wolvid familiar, our Wolf Beast familiar, as the other. Oh, and I am once again I'm messing up my piles. Now I have to stop, take a look at what I messed up with. Yep, these two don't belong there. These two belong here. So I can see how many uncommon legendaries I actually got. Did I do that any other time? Nope, I think that's it. And our foil is a Doomed Traveler. So nothing special there. Maybe in a token deck, maybe in a sacrifice build, but overall, Doom Traveler is not the greatest hit. And we are quickly depleting these packs. We are quickly going through them. I mean, I think we're about halfway done. That's what it looks like when I stare into the box, but you be the judge, right? Isn't that about halfway? I know you didn't get the best view there. Alright. So now we have common, 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 common. Kananad, that's a pretty good common. I saw a video where they were talking about how that's a new Pauper card, that it had not previously been printed in common, and now that it is, it's actually doing quite well in the format. Alright, now we got uncommons. Fathom Fleet, Sword Jack, Scaled Behemoth, Confiscate, and our rare is Austere Command. I've been opening quite a few of these. They are decent. I used to want so many Austere Commands. Any white deck I would build would want an Austere Command. And I don't think I would put Austere Command in every white commander deck these days. Maybe some of them. Maybe every white mono white commander deck I'd put in Austere Command. They couldn't reprint Cryptic Command in this set though. They reprinted Austere Command but not Cryptic Command. That seems a little strange. We have the Salvage Splicer, is a green uncommon legendary. And we have the Moon Kraken as the other, with a very faded out Furnace Celebration uncommon foil, which I'll put right here. Can you see how faded that looks? Pretty faded. Every so often I see them faded like that, and I wonder, is this a misprint? Is someone really going to want these someday? Or is it just like a normal variation? I think it's just normal variation. Alright. Common. They couldn't have added some uncommons, Command Tower. They had to just give us more commons. Well, at least this can sometimes come with multiple rares. Alright, yep. So here are uncommons. We have an Intangible Virtue, a Codex Shredder, Volcanic Torrent, which is a Cascade card, and ooh, our first huge hit of the box. There it is, a card that everyone hopes to open. A mythic rare, non-foil, non-extended art or anything, because this is a draft booster. But there it is. There is that Mana Drain. And let me quickly get a sleeve for Mana Drain. So Opposition Agent and Mana Drain so far are the best pulls that we've gotten. Let me just... Where are you, camera? Okay, there you go. Very cool card. Counter spell, plus a ramp spell, all in one. Be wary of fast mana. It can really win you games. Isn't that right, Jewel Lotus? Are you in here somewhere? But the fact that there is no longer mana burn makes mana drain so much better. And although there is that new commander in this set that does bring back that does bring back mana burn. Do you guys remember mana burn? Do you even know what I'm talking about when I say mana burn? When I first started playing back in Lore and Block, mana burn was still a thing, but they got rid of it. Something about it not coming up as often in games, and it was kind of a weird rule. Why would having excess mana in your mana pool cause you to lose life? Like, I don't know. Do you agree? Do you wish that mana burn came back as an official rule? Or are you satisfied that there is a commander that at least kind of fakes it? So we have Jury, Master of the Review, as an uncommon legendary, and this was another pack, decent pack. Had a mana drain. It also has this rare Liesa, Shroud of Dusk, the lost Avacyn sister, I guess, the black-white member that was actually killed by Avacyn herself for talking and working with demons. Avacyn did not like that. Quite the hypocrite, because she would later find out that she was created by a vampire, and yet she condemned her own sister. Well, they weren't really sisters, but, they were close, I'm assuming. She sentenced the Shroud of Dusk to death, even though she herself was working under a vampire. She had just forgotten about it. And in the foil slot, we have a exquisite Hunt Master foil, so nothing in the foil slot. But we just pulled the Mana Drain, so there we go. That was a pretty big hit. Hopefully we will hit something else before this box has finished. Alright. Common. Fire Diamond. Alright. Amorphous. Oh my. Amorphous Axe, which is a common as well. Wait, is it? Yeah, that was a common. put it in the commons. Uncommons, let's go. Oh, and look at that. I cannot do my piles today. Okay, that's correct. We have my Ingenuity engine, not bad. We have Revenant, who chases Hans Eriksson all around. We have the uncommon Thought Vessel, which is a very good uncommon. And finally, we have an Elk, Dawnglade Regent. Not terrible. I think that has an opportunity, a chance to go up in value. It's an 8/8 for 7. So in green, that's just average. It doesn't have trample, so it'll be hard to get through for damage, but I don't think that's his main job. Its main job is to protect your permanents and draw you cards because it can give you the monarchy, it can make you the monarch. And as long as you're the monarch, everything will have hexproof, so it'll be hard for your opponent to target you. But you will have a target on your head, as everyone will be trying to steal the monarch from you, not just so they can draw cards and you will stop drawing excess cards, but just so that your permanents can be targeted again. In our uncommon legendary slot, we have Toggle, Goblin Weaponsmith. I originally thought Toggle was not a great card. I did not think it was as powerful as it was, and then I watched the Command Zone, and I watched as this commander devastated people with rocks, created rocks, and just kept throwing them. Kept throwing these rocks, and just people kept dying. And it was working, so he made more rocks, and he threw more rocks. Alright, Tuya, Bearclaw, uncommon, legendary. And our foil is 9th Bridge Patrol. You see, I have a 9th Bridge Patrol foil that I opened that just does not look so much more faded. This one does not look as faded as the other one that I have. And we have the Prismatic Piper Boy that I'm just going to put in the common slot. So now you can play Pauper Commander, because now there is officially a common legendary creature in Prismatic Piper. So, of course, if you choose to do that, you can partner Prismatic Piper with the Prismatic Piper, so you can have up to 2 colors in your Pauper Commander deck. I don't know if that's really a format that anyone is actually going to play. Path of Ancestry. Alright. So we, of course, are looking for Vampiric Tutor and Jeweled Lotus. We cracked the Mana Drain, but don't get me wrong, if we crack another one, that would be amazing. In fact, if every card in the rest of these packs is nothing but Mana Drains, you won't hear me complain. Here's another Elk. I forgot this guy was an Elk, so Oko would be proud. Burnished Heart. Not a bad Elk either. Not a bad ramp spell in certain decks that lack that. Oh, I see that the foils are a little out of range. That's okay. I'll tell you if I get any good foils. Hero's Blade uncommon. Ordeal of Nalia uncommon. And our rare is... Oh, I forgot about this card. I forgot this card was in the set. Springs of Brightheart, which is a rather decent rare. It was originally, I think, from the Lorne Shadowmoor blocks, and it actually got quite high in price, so I'm glad they finally reprinted it. I believe that Rings of Brightheart is more expensive than the Staff of Domination, which is another pretty good reprint, even though reprinting it made the value of that card just totally and completely tank. As far as the uncommon legends, we have Rogorok, son of Roga, and I actually have Roga. Roga is from, I think it was Legends, and is actually on the reserve list. Interestingly, Roga is a black-red card, and it doesn't cost 0. I forgot how much it costs. I think it costs 6. 2 red, 2 black, and 2 of anything. So it kind of breaks the mode in terms of kobolds, because most kobolds are red in color identity, but have 0 casting cost. and his father didn't follow that route, which is why I guess in the lore his son is rebelling against him, maybe because he doesn't cost 0. So as far as the uncommon legends, we have Kanji, Sky Warden, and our foil is a Volakut, Invoker. Volakut was Zendikar, right? And we have a treasure token. This Elf Warrior token was from the last pack. Just a few packs left. But Opposition Agent, Rings of Brighthearth, and of course the Spectacular Mana Drain. I haven't really opened as many mythics as I thought, however, so that gives me hope that there's a mythic hiding in one of these last packs that will have a ton of value. I could be quite mistaken. Alright, nothing in the common slot. Orzhov Abacus as an uncommon. Pride of the Perfect. Grafted War Gear, and the rare will be not as good as Rings of Brighthearth. It's just this Aura Phoenix. Not a great card. Could have been better. Works in a Cascade deck, I guess. And we have I think I'm going to give it to my friend. He has a 4-color Cascade deck that he used with that Cascade commander that got released when they did the 4-color precons. What's his name? The Maelstrom guy. Not the 8-mana one, the 4-mana one. Forgot his name. We also have in our uncommon legendary slot, Kelith, Sunmane Familiar, of course. And we have a double rare pack, Sarah, Renegade Recruiter. Actually, I'm thinking about building a commander deck using Zara, where I steal what's in your hand and I try to blink it. Some of the blink cards will allow me to keep the card until the end of the game instead of it going back into my opponent's hand. So we'll see if I can scrounge up enough cards to make that deck viable. I will not be doing Pirate Tribal with Zara. I may make a Pirate Tribal deck, and she may be in it, but she will not lead it. And our foil is Rummaging Goblin with a zombie token. And you know what? I think I know that Commander Legends is not going to go on Magic Arena, at least not for many, many, many years, but I at least have the tokens, have a code that you can redeem for, I don't know, Kaladesh Remastered, and do some cross-branding, or just have a code where you can get some of the cards in this set that are in Standard. There are some, right? Or at least that are in, their historic format, or card sleeves, maybe, digital card sleeves, or just something. Alright, what else we got? I got a bunch of commons. Rupture Spire. Natural Reclamation. That's good for a common, right? And we have, once again, the Explosion of Riches. So you draw a card for 6 mana at sorcery speed. You automatically draw. Let me see if I can figure out what this card does. And each other player may draw a card. So if you have 3 other players, they each choose whether or not they want to draw. So whenever a card is drawn this way, so you're guaranteed at least 1 activation. Since it says draw a card, you don't get to choose whether you draw. You automatically draw the person who cast this. So whenever a card is drawn this way, the Explosion of Riches deals 5 damage to target opponent chosen at random from among your opponents. So for 6 mana at sorcery speed, you draw a card and you automatically will always deal 5 damage to a random opponent. But if you have 3 opponents and they also choose to draw, that means 4 people would have drawn using this card's ability, and that's 20 damage at random opponents. So it can be 20 damage to one random opponent if they get really unlucky. It can be 15 damage to one opponent and 5 damage to another opponent. Or it can be 5 damage to one opponent, 5 damage to a second opponent, and 10 damage to a third opponent. That's if everyone chooses to draw. And if one opponent chooses to draw, then probably everyone is going to choose to draw. It's probably best if your opponents are wise. They will say, let us not choose to draw. Let's none of us choose to draw. Because if we all choose to draw and there's 4 players, that could be 20 damage at one player, which for 6 mana is a bargain. It's super random though. You always get 5 damage though for 6, and it's random, so you can always say, whoops, I didn't mean to target you, it was just random luck. And it does replace itself. I don't know how I feel about Explosion of Riches. New card in Commander Legends. What do you think about Explosion of Riches? Worth playing? Not worth the time? Not worth the randomness? You tell me. So we got Supreme Will as well. And we have Imperious Perfect. I like this as an uncommon. I like when they do Lords at uncommon. Lords, of course, are creatures that pump other creatures or benefit other creatures in some way. This is a pretty traditional Lord because it just has other elves you control get +1/+1. Traditional Lords usually give other creatures of the type that they are +1/+1. There are exceptions. She does have another ability though to create an elf 1/1 elf warrior token, which is pretty good because they wouldn't be 1/1s as long as she's on the field. You'd be pretty much creating 2/2s. Our rare is Court of Grace, which is a cool way to make angels, so decent in maybe an flavor tribal, angel tribal build. And let's see, our uncommon legends are Alena, Cassic Trapper, and I saw a decent number of combos using Alena Kessig Trapper to make infinite mana. So you might want to run Alena either with a green partner maybe, or maybe you want to run her with... No, you probably wouldn't want to run her with Jessica. Because even if you have infinite mana, you probably need a sack outlet so you can keep casting your commander infinite times. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. What would be a good partner with Alena Kessig Trapper? Do you guys remember who she... Oops, sorry, I almost knocked down my whole setup here. Do you remember who Alena Kessig Trapper is? I believe it's a she. She is still alive. She was a werewolf hunter from some of the Innistrad stories. I think she was in a lot of the flavor text as well. In the original Innistrad. I think in the second Innistrad, she was in a few stories, and people were like, okay, we want to see more of this character. We want to hear more about this character. So people have been requesting, especially on Blogatog, Marrow, Mark Rosewater's blog. They've been asking for a legendary creature of her, and I believe her... Is it her brother, or is it like her best friend, or is it her like... Are they dating? I don't even remember. Or are they just work buddies? So here this character is finally as an uncommon, but at least it's a decent uncommon. Red did get a bunch of decent legendary creatures at the uncommon level. We have Slurk, All Ingesting. Pretty good in a Tribal Ooze deck. Might also be okay in a +1/+1 counter deck. Slurk. And our foil is Kitescale Skirmisher, and this foil looks perfectly fine. Doesn't look faded, doesn't look dulled. Looks very clean. Token, alright, let me try to clean up a little bit before I continue. Let me move the tokens to the back. No one cares about tokens. Let me widen up my screen a little bit more so you can see some. Does that make things better or does that make things worse? Alright, let me see here. Boop. Alright. Let me be careful. I got a mana drain in here. I gotta be careful. Alright. I've made 2 piles for the commons, as you can see now. That's a little bit better. You know what? I'd rather you see the foils than see the commons. Alright, mana drain, go to the back. You're the best card I opened so far. Not a lot of mythics in this box though. But I guess if you open a mana drain, you don't really need many other mythics. Right? When you open one of the best mythics. Can't really be too demanding for more mythics. These piles are just like very difficult to maintain. Think I got it. Do I have it? How do you set up your piles? Do you hate the way I'm setting up my piles? You set them up a different way? That's a little better. Yeah, I like that setup a little better. Alright, let's keep going. I should have set it up like that from the beginning. We'll live and learn. Maybe in a future box opening, won't be Commander Legends. Maybe I'll do a set booster. I have not really, booster box opening, I have not really done set boosters yet. I will rather open one of those than a draft booster. They seem much better. So maybe Call Time, which is the next set I believe that is going to have set boosters, even though I don't think they've officially announced that, but they almost certainly will. Gift of Paradise. Not a terrible comment. Alright, we got Kanji's Lieutenant. I wouldn't be embarrassed to put this in a flying deck, a blue-white sky high deck. Victimize, not a terrible reanimation spell. Still has its uses. We have Armorcraft Judge, and our rare is not another Lord, Bio-Waste Blob. So we got a Ooze Lord. And we have the Flesh Sculptor as our uncommon legend. And we have a double rare pack. We have the Chaos Bloom, the Cascade card that like kind of cascades for lands, as our second rare with a foil that no one really cares about. Defiant Salvager. That looked kind of faded though. I'll say that. Alright, we are down to our final 1, 2, 3, 4 packs. I want to pull 2 more mythics out of these 4 packs. What is the probability that I will do that? I don't know, but I'm sure going to hope. I'm sure going to try. If I put my mental energies in it, I can accomplish anything. Trickle Diamond, Viscera Seer. Path of Ancestry. Alright, nope. I always know that when I see a Vow, they're uncommon. I did not like the Vow cycle. I gotta say, I think I've said that many times throughout these videos, that the Vow cycle was not my favorite cycle, but, you know, there we have it. So, the Vow of Duty, Lore Seeker's Stone, Strength of the Pack, and our rare is... Oh, well, it is a mythic, and it's a mythic I had actually never opened throughout all of these boxes. It's Reshape the Earth, a mythic that I think is going to do some serious work in a lot of landfall related decks. There it is, Reshape the Earth. First time I've actually opened this, and I've opened so many of these sorcery 9-mana cards. It was part of a mythic rare cycle in this set. Each color got one, and even colorless got one in the form of an artifact creature. This is the green member, and of course, since it's green, you know it has to be the best member in the cycle. I will say that the blue one is probably the second best. The black one is probably the third best, or actually, the black one and the white one I could see being in the middle. I don't know if one is necessarily better than the other, but I think the red one is the worst. Alright, we got Glossian, Power Stone Engineer, as our uncommon legend. And you know, I just noticed that we didn't get an foil etch card in this box. Oh, okay. On double rare, we got Croc, the Thumbless. I hope they tell us one day what happened to his thumbs. And I'd like Assassin as our foil. So 3 packs remaining. We did get one additional mythic, and a mythic that I had not opened. I still have not opened Scroll Rack either. Just saying. So, Scroll Rack, you want to be in here? I would appreciate it. I think I do have a Scroll Rack though. Not from this set, but I think I have an old school Scroll Rack somewhere. It's a good card. I wonder if did I put it in the deck? Alright. Reshape the Earth. How much is that going for? $6, $7 maybe? Maybe way less? Probably not more. Alright. Terramorphic Expanse. The Owner's Judgment was the last common there. Alright. We have Pennon Blade as an uncommon. Vow of Lightning. The Spider. 2/5 with Reach. And our rare is Kamal's Will. Yeah, that's another card I didn't open. I didn't open a Kamal, I think. It's another mythic that I have not seen. Rayev, Master Smith as an uncommon legendary. The blue familiar, one Wardwing familiar. I actually forgot that this was an owl. The other day I was on Blogatog and I asked what are the chances of there being a legendary owl, and Mark Rosewater gave some weird odds. It said 1/8 within the next year, 4/8 within the next 10 years, and 8 out of 8 ever. So he said, yeah, there would be a legendary owl printed eventually. Of course, there is one in Commander Legends, and I just didn't remember. There's also Circadian, which is an owl, but that's an unset owl, so a lot of people would not count it. This one counts, however. It is black border and perfectly playable in Commander, and in other formats you can play it too, but since it has partner, I think you're mostly going to see it in Commander. I do think he was talking about a upcoming legendary bird flavored as an owl, maybe in Strixhaven. Strixhaven seems to have a lot of birds. It's based on a magic school, and Harry Potter is probably the most famous example of a wizarding or magic school, and Hedwig is a popular character in all 7 of the books. I believe it's a she. Hedwig appears in all of the books. Eventually she dies in the last book, but she has never been forgotten by me. So hopefully they will do a legendary snowy owl in Strixhaven. If not, everyone keeps talking about a bear owl in the Dungeons and Dragons set. I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons too much. I haven't played in like over 10 years. I haven't played since I was like 20. So I don't know if like bear owls are like a thing in Dungeons and Dragons that I'm just not aware of. Or maybe it's like a more recent thing. It's like a meme maybe. Anyway, back to the pack, and the foil for this pack is actually an amazing foil Vault of Champions, the black-white Battle Bond land. Haven't seen a Battle Bond land in a while, so that was a decent pack. Always happy to see those Battle Ball lands. We're down to 2. Will we crack another mythic? I predict that we will. I predict that there is another mythic here. I think we're a little short on mythics, so I'm sure we will see just one more. Alright. Commons. Let's go to our uncommons. Mindless Automaton by Burning Anger. This was a rare, right? Burning Anger? At one point this was a rare. Guildless Commons, which is somehow uncommon. And our rare, second to last rare, is... It is a mythic. It's Phyrexian Triniform. I believe I did open one other Phyrexian Triniform. Put that right here. It is another one of the cycle of 9 mana cards. Since colorless doesn't really get too many sorceries or instants, the only colorless cards that were sorceries or instants were flavored around the Eldrazi, and there are no Eldrazi in this set. So instead of them just making a random colorless sorcery card with no explanation, I guess they just chose to make an artifact creature in this cycle, if it is even considered a part of the 9 mana cycle. I think it is, because they're all mythic rares, and they all cost 9, but, there are some differences, but, it's a cycle, so there should be some differences. They can't be identical. However, let's continue. Our uncommon is Immolti, Celebrant of Bounty, Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro, that belongs there, and a foil Commander Spear. Decent, that's a decent foil. So we're down to 1 pack. We have 1 pack remaining. Thank you for staying with me through all this, and thank you for watching all of my videos on Commander Legends and the box openings. After I open this last pack, I want to see just how many rares and mythics I did open from this box in comparison to some of the others. So, last pack. It's very exciting. What will we get in the close of this set? So I keep changing my mind with this set as well. Sometimes I think, ooh, it's awesome. Look at all the cards I'm opening. And then I see that the value of some of these cards is really going down. And I'm like, really? Like, what happened here? So here are the uncommons. Ingenuity Engine, Volcanic Dragon, Garbage uncommon. Why does that have to be uncommon? Sunset Pyramid. And our last rare is... It just had to be her Immaculate Magistrate. The card that I've said throughout all of this that I want to see the least. The card that I think is the worst rare in the set, especially because it's a reprint. It's not even a new card. But that's what we're ending with, Immaculate Magistrate. So if you want to buy my Immaculate Magistrates or any of the cards that you've seen here, send me an offer and I'll see what I can do. Maybe if I sell enough of these cards, I can get a whole nother box and I can do one more. But I think this is the end, guys. I think this is the last Commander Legends video that I will be posting. And hopefully I can come up with some other interesting videos and interesting content. I also have not been opening my mail. I have been ordering some interesting cards on eBay and TCG Player and from some local game stores and other places, and I've just been keeping them basically in a closet, and they've been piling up and piling up. So I do have to actually do a mail opening for you guys and show you what cards I've been picking up within the last month or 2. So I'll go through the uncommons. We have a Radiant Sarah Archangel, not a good legendary uncommon. We have Captain of Argus Wrath, and, well, we are going to end on a slightly higher note. I did remember that we had not opened one of these foil etched cards, or the etched foils. This one is not the best, but I'm sure she has her fans. It's Rebecca, Architect of Ascension. Put that right here. So, don't want it to slide. And we do have a prismatic paper, just to say goodbye, just to show us off in style, just to sing us a little melody. So, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to my Commander Legends box opening videos. It means a lot that you're liking, that you're subscribing, and that you care about the content I am putting out. If you would like to see any specific videos or certain content, please let me know. I also may be building some of the commanders I open. I will be building commander decks based on them, so I'm sure I will be doing a deck tech soon. I especially want to do a deck tech or two with some of the foil etch cards that I opened, either in my standard draft boosters or in some of my collector boosters. I was guaranteed 2 to 3 per pack, and I have a number of them now. So hopefully you will see some cool deck tech videos as I create some Commander EDH decks. I do also eventually want to go back and show you some gameplay where I'm playing actually in person with paper cards, some Commander games. If I am able to in a safe way, I will. Hopefully I can post a video where I actually draft this amazing set, because I would like to experience the draft format of Commander Legends. I think it's cool to play with a bunch of the cards, even some cards I would normally never play in more competitive Commander games. So we'll see. Well, we don't know what the future will hold. Hopefully things get better. So this is Magic with Class. I'm Jeremy Class, always saying thank you and always reminding you to gather with class.